hostages being held by the terror group inside the Gaza Strip. It's estimated around 20 are believed to be alive. And the negotiations were moving forward. But earlier this month, the Israelis launched airstrikes against Hamas inside the Qatari capital of Doha. They have been stalled ever since. But officials hope this letter will help to jumpstart the conversations and ultimately get President Trump directly involved to try and reach an agreement to get the hostages home and end this war.
It's interesting that, do you think on some level, Hamas, who follows media closely, has noticed the relationship the hostages and their families have with the American president? Is that part of the strategy here?
Absolutely. Look, Hamas and everyone in the Middle East understands that President Trump is a deal maker. He wants to see an agreement that would ultimately end this conflict, bring the hostages home, alleviate the suffering for Palestinian civilians, and stabilize the Middle East. And President Trump has been very clear since the October 7th massacre that we saw here on the ground in Israel that he wants peace in the Middle East. We saw the Abraham Accords, and ultimately the hope here in the region is that if a ceasefire is reached inside Gaza, you not only bring the hostages home, alleviate the sufferings for civilians, but enter into a new chapter where more deals can be made to have some level of stability across the region.
How significant is it that they feel as though they're better off dealing with President Trump than Netanyahu?
It's significant. And look, the president has been able to bring a lot of wars to a close around the world. He's been able to de-escalate a lot of tension in the region. There are conversations taking place with Syrian leadership right now to reach some sort of normalization agreement with Israel. But his Middle East team, specifically Steve Witkoff and Adam Bowler, have been leading the charge here to try to get some sort of agreement together. The war in the Middle East, specifically inside the Gaza Strip, has been going on for more than 700 days. The president has met directly with the families of these hostages that are being held by the terrorist organization inside Gaza, some of them in the tunnels beneath Gaza. He's also talked about the need to bring people together and bring people to the table. And so it's a challenging path forward here, understanding the regional tension following these Israeli strikes against the Qatari capital, targeting Hamas there. But also, there are questions about how this war will come to a close. Israeli forces right now are battling Hamas on the ground inside Gaza, focusing on the largest city in the Gaza Strip. But they're also looking at the possibility of expanding operations. And we've seen the demonstrations here in Israel, thousands of people in the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem demanding a deal. And you see the signs that they are holding. They are pleading with President Trump to use his negotiating power to reach an agreement.
Last question real quick on leverage. President knows all about leverage. Is it because they're closing in on Gaza City that the Hamas is doing this Hail Mary? And I know they wouldn't use that term. Or do they feel fortified by countries like France saying, I recognize the existence of a Palestinian state? Who's got leverage?
Look, the Israelis have some level of leverage. They have ground forces deep inside Gaza, and they have a number of tank units with air support. They are striking the Gaza Strip so heavily every day that sometimes you can hear it in cities like Tel Aviv, nearly 40 miles to the north of the Gaza Strip. But when we look at the situation on the ground, we also have to look at the negotiating table. And that's where President Trump has leverage. He's made comments in recent days saying he does not want to see Hamas in control of Gaza, and he wants to see the hostages released.
Exclusively, just to recap, a letter directly to Trump in the hands of Qatar that should be at the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, or where the president's going to be on Tuesday in New York. Trey, thanks so much. I know it's your day off, but I know this story is important and nobody better to deliver it. Thank you, Trey Yingst. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News.
Good morning. This is Morning Sky. I'm your host, Sky. And I'm stupid because I don't understand any of these geopolitical actions. Why is Hamas writing love letters to President Trump? Why are they using snail mail to give? I'm so confused. They want to get rid of not rid of, but they want to release the remaining hostages. There's apparently at least 20 hostages that are still alive. I just don't understand. Somebody's got, like, the news just reports. Like, there's no commentary afterwards. I need the commentary. I'm the commentary afterwards. I don't understand this. What are they writing a letter for? What is a letter for? I don't get that. They're a terrorist organization, but they're really a governmental organization. They just have a terroristic faction, but they are mainly a governmental organization. So with them trying to write a letter to Trump to get, because they say, because he's the deal breaker, or not a deal breaker, he's a deal maker. He makes deals. Why are they making deals? What is this? Yeah, it's growing frustration with Netanyahu, definitely, but I just don't see it. And make sure you tell 5 people about me, Kings. Make sure you tell those 5 people. I just need 5 people extra people in here. They can tell 5 people. They can tell 5 people. You know how it goes. But yeah. So I just think it's goofy. It's just goofy. Why are they writing letters? What does a letter got to do with anything? There's people getting bombed out of their houses. What is a letter going to do? They just sent him a message in Truth Social, his social networking platform. Why would they do that? I just don't understand. It baffles me. It baffles me. I know geopolitical. I am so just straight up nuclear. I'm nuclear. I'm like, am I pronouncing that right? Because I know that George W. Bush doesn't pronounce it right. Is it nuclear? Nuclear? I always pronounce it incorrectly, so get me on that. But I'm just for nukes. I'm all about nukes. We got them. Why don't we use them? I know they're expensive. Oh, the blowback. Oh, the environment. Oh, the surrounding neighborhoods. All the Okay, I that's what I surmise. I could be wrong about that. I don't understand that, but if we got them, we should be able to use them. I said this in post before. I just don't understand. A letter? What do you mean a letter? A letter to President Trump saying what? Oh, well, we've got the hostages. We're going to release at least 15 of them this morning, and the next day we're going to release 5 more. And I just geopolitics. I just am at a loss. I don't really comprehend it. I don't get it. It makes me feel like a little bit of unease. Just like I just don't get it. Crush your enemies. Don't exchange love letters to your enemy. Crush them. Crush their will to fight. Their soul of battle. Crush their soul of battle. If you can destroy someone's soul of battle, not just their capacity to fight, that's the real key to warfare. You have to destroy their capacity to make war, of course, but to crush their will and their soul of battle, that is the key point. That is the whole idea of winning a war. Not sending love letters. I just don't. It's goofy to me. It's goofy. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, they have every opportunity to ensure that the hostages are taken into safety. A few of them have already perished, so it's not like in Iran, where all hostages were released after 444 days. It's been, I don't know how many. It's been almost 600 something days, I think, or over 600 something days, almost 700 days, or over even 700. I can't do math, kids. It's probably over 700 days now, because 365, 365, 365, 2 365s. What is that? I can't tell. It's like 700 something, 780 or something. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm not good at math, of course. That's not my strong suit. But irregardless, I know that's not a word, but it's fun to say. Irregardless, regardless. While we, live our super, happy lives, despite the BS that you hear, America is still thriving. It's okay economically. It's still happy. It's still strong. We're still able to have, work and romantic relationships and, families, and be selfish and happy and great, despite all of what's going on in the world. Despite all of that. despite the love letters. I that just threw me for a loop. When I saw that on the news, I said, "What? They got a letter in Qatar, excuse me. Everybody says Qatar. It's Qatar. They got a letter in Qatar by Hamas for President Trump." It just flips my lid. It flips my lid. I just don't understand it. Someone out there explain it to me like a 5-year-old, like Barney style. Seriously. I just don't get it. It makes 0 sense. 0 sense. Just bomb them out of all existence. Bring them back to even further than their own civilization, which is already the prehistoric, modern family from bedrock, bomb them back to the Stone Age. But they're pretty much already there. They're not as advanced as Israel. King Hazy says, LOL, do you like us? Yes, no, maybe so. Where is this coming from, King? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying. I'm trying to type him back. You got quite the name. I gotta respond to that name. That's a name. How did you even come up with that? King Hazy, Only Hayes YouTube channel. I gotta respect the man. That is an official channel that nobody can even come close to duplicating. Seriously. That's how we used to pass notes to a girl. Oh, yeah. I got you. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Check here for yes. Check here for no. He's saying that's how we used to pass notes to a girl or vice versa in elementary school. I didn't mean to put the question mark. I was trying. I hate typing on here because it sucks. It really does. And it's not like it's on YouTube. It's on StreamYard, so I can't go back and correct it. No. I got you, sir. I got you. Yeah. A letter. Who is this unprecedented? Is this normal for warfare? Has this happened before? Does this happen usually? With Hamas sending a letter? Okay, we're gonna write up this letter. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be sent to Trump. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. Like I just don't. It's so weird. Only Hayes, a variation of OnlyFans. Okay, got you. Cool. Got you. So I would imagine that has to do with blunts and tings. It's got to do with the Mary Jane, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, please correct me. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Somebody break it down. They just have to report. I have to comment. I have to be the commentary. And I don't get it. I don't understand. Why are there letters being passed and forth? He's going to get the letter. He's going to sign. Oh, I got to sign check yes or check no on whether the hostages are released or not. So goofy. I'm going to try to find another video. Let me see. This is some Aaliyah-ish. I'm writing him a 4-page letter. Hold on, I'm gonna stop it right there. Hold on. Let me stop it right there. They're saying Hamas is blaming Israel. They have the gall. They have the, I won't even say the cojones, but they have the gall. They have the spite to say that Israel started this. That Israel bombed themselves, I guess, and killed 1,250 people and took 250 hostages. It's disgusting. And Netanyahu is probably one of the worst prime ministers to ever come out of Israel. He's mealy-mouthed. He'll say one thing out the side of one mouth and say another thing out the side of the other. He's not a strong leader. Trump is a terrible leader as well. He doesn't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm not the president of the United States of America, and I'm not a prime minister of Israel. So I'm just a dumb guy trying to get money out here. That's all I'm trying to do. That's my whole goal. Forget that. Can you understand that? Not even arrogance, just the hubris. Oh, in exchange for a ceasefire. They didn't have a ceasefire on October 7th, 2023. They want to have a ceasefire now. That's very telling. That's very interesting. A ceasefire. A ceasefire. They didn't say, oh, we can't start a war. We can't do that. We can't. We're going to cease our fire before we even fire. We're not even going to get into this. We're not even going to do that. So a ceasefire. A ceasefire. Oh no. We started it. We dropped bombs. We did, we did some terrible things. We shot up some people. 1,250 people killed, 250 hostages. But you guys got a ceasefire. Is that okay? I mean, can we work that out? Goofy. Just goofy. What the hell is a stage-by-stage deal? What is that? I don't even know what that is. What is a stage-by-stage deal? Netanyahu has rejected these proposals, good, insisting on partial stage-by-stage deals. I don't understand what that means. This should be like we completely annihilate you and make sure all our hostages are in good health, in good standing. That would be the proper response, in my opinion, just to say. In stages or increments, but I can see the stages or increments, but why didn't Hamas say we're gonna not bomb and terrorizing people? We're gonna do in stages and increments a peaceful, rational deal where we can possibly leverage a two-state possibility. But I don't think there ever will be a two-state possibility because Israel is surrounded by low-rent thugs, autocrats, totalitarians that want to kill them. They want to kill Israelis and everyone else. They want to kill Americans too. They want to kill anybody in the free world, in the West. Anybody that goes against Muhammad or goes against Allah or anything like that. They want to kill the infidels. And everybody over here is boo-hooing, crying, oh, we have to save the Palestinians. We have to save the Gazans. They're not getting their proper treatment. They're not getting their... Okay. And then they go back to their selfies and their Instagram posts and their Lemonade and Snapchat and Discord and, YouTube pictures and TikTok. And it's like, well, I got to go on with my life. Forget it. Like, as they should, but they're not aware of it. King Hazy says that's what Kirk was alluding to, that Israel had to have set up its own invasion based on how secure they usually are. I can understand that. I don't agree with Kirk mainly when he was alive. I didn't understand what he was saying really about Martin Luther King, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He said a lot of horrible things. But if Israel is able to secure itself, the reason why people hate Israel is because they're robust, they're strong, they can stand up. If they had proper leadership, they would have been able to wipe out Hamas and everybody within a few days. But it's going on for 2 years now. It's less than 2 years away for the anniversary. It blows my mind. It really blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Video put out by former Israeli hostages. It's addressed to you. One is a widow of one that died, and these are people who were freed thanks to you. But they're actually encouraging you to force a ceasefire, force Netanyahu to a ceasefire. And they didn't address it to him because they think you're the one who might actually listen to them and get it done. They're worried that the hostages who are still there are more at risk if the war continues. Your thoughts on it?
They might be. They also, maybe they'll be freed because of that. You never know how it's going to look. War, I was saying, yes, war, a lot of strange things happen. A lot of results take place that you would never think were going to happen. As you know, I was able to get most of the hostages out. We're down to 20, and we have 32 dead people. You know that. We have 32, maybe more, 38, but between 32 and 38 people that were dead, mostly young people. And I've dealt with some of the parents. And we got all our Americans out, as you know, but now we're talking about mostly Israelis. But I dealt with parents. I spoke to parents, and they want the body of their son, I believe in almost all cases sons, but they want the body of their cherished, beautiful son. They want the body back as much as though he were alive. It's so sad to see. But I've dealt with the mothers and fathers. Please, sir, please, the body of my son. They know he's dead. And they just want him back. They want him back as much as though he's alive. I mean, it's very terrible. And, we have very close.
Okay, I understand what this babbling moron is saying, but at the same time, he is, he's equivocating. He's trying to go down a path of, making a deal, making some kind of concession, try to give Hamas more power, more land grab, something. They're gonna have a sweet deal. I'm sure they're gonna have a sweetheart deal, on the way with this letter. Especially this letter is just tripping me out. What are you doing with a letter? Do they not? They don't. I guess they don't want to have like what happened with the Hezbollah, with the exploding beepers in the cell phones, and the pagers, whatever. They want to have. They want to have it both ways. I guess they want to have the way they can say ceasefire, and then they want to have continue fire on their end. Like, you guys stop fighting. It's like literally what they're saying. It's like, you guys stop fighting, and we're going to continue fighting, okay? You do the ceasefire on your end, but we're not going to ceasefire on our end. Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's completely devoid of any rational capacity in any form. It's disgusting. It's outrageous. It's abhorrent. It's really, 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 really awful. Just completely bad. Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad policies coming out of them. But that's what happens. We don't say, if you wanted to sacrifice, everybody says sacrifice. You got Donald Trump will be wearing a t-shirt. He'll be giving all his clothing away. His cufflinks probably cost $2,000 each. He would give away all his photographs that he has behind him. He would give away, his access to Air Force One and a Marine One. He would give away all of that. He'd give up his wife. He'll go to a tent and strike, cut himself, going down this street across instead of across the road. Not wishing that upon him. I'm just saying. That's we continue to go on with our lives. The same people that are in the streets, you're in the streets. Well, Palestine, 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 and Gaza, 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 Palestine. They should have their own state. They should have their own state. Gaza, they're not getting their nutrients. They're not getting their daily caloric intake. Why isn't this happening? Why is this happening? People are in the streets and college campuses and online. People in my family completely oblivious to the reality of what is going on in this war. It's frightening. It's absolutely frightening when you consider it. Absolutely. But I'll let the video continue.
The 40 bodies that are included in the whole thing. But we have 20, probably 20 that are living. It might be a little bit less because a couple of things. Look, young people don't die, okay? They just don't die. And they can take a lot, but a lot of people died in these horrible tunnels. They're mostly in the tunnels. I know a lot about it. I got them out. But I always said the last 20, when you get down to the last 10 or 20, it's going to be very tough. It's a nasty situation. You can't forget October 7th, but it's a nasty situation, terrible.
Mr. President, on Gaza, the UN concluded this week that Israel committed genocide in Gaza. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I haven't seen that. I'm looking at it, but did anybody commit genocide on October 7th? What do you think about that?
That's exactly what I've been saying. I agree with the president on that. Where's the genocide on October 2nd? No, I was like, oh, Israel should be, oh my God, we have to care for Israel. We have to, stand for Israel. We have to do all that. And a few people were saying that. But the great majority of Americans were like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens. And then, oh, Israel's big and powerful. They have a mighty army. They can go against Gaza. Whoa, okay. Damn. They actually did the damn thing. That's crazy. Okay, we can't go for them though because they're big and powerful. They can handle themselves. We have to go to the meek and the mild and the humble and the modest and they're so little they don't know what they're doing. The brown people, it's the bad white skinned people with the nose, the crooked nose, and it's just racist stuff like that. It's disturbing. It really is disturbing. It really is. To go against Israel is one of the most heinous and ugly displays of ignorance and intolerance. If you can't represent for Israel and its right to defend itself, then you have no place in this political sphere, whoever you are. And I have to agree with President Trump, even though I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing necessarily. He's just doing things. So you can say, what is it? The Republicans don't do anything right, and the Democrats don't do anything. That's always the refrain of a lot of political party insider, talk. To me, I just think that there's a dearth of information regarding this letter. What is this? Is this letter going to be like, this letter will self-destruct in 30 seconds or something like that? What is this letter? Is it in a nice little envelope? Is it like folded neatly? Is it like folded like origami? What is this letter like? What is this letter? What? Are you kidding me? What is this letter? To Donald Trump, because we're involved, as we should be, I would say. America should always help its ally, and Israel is its greatest ally, if not, other countries like UK, countries in the UK, especially. Let's continue with the video.
That was genocide. at the highest level. That was murder, genocide, you can call it whatever you want. But little babies were chopped in half,
And in Gaza,
arms were cut off.
But this isn't the thing, though. This is the thing. I know his sentiment, but he's not telling the truth. It's not genocide. Genocide is when you're wiping out an entire, a huge fraction, like 66 to 99% of a population. When you're trying to completely obliterate a people, essentially, an entire people, you're trying to wipe them out. And Israel has done a horrible job of wiping them out because they've actually increased in size. They actually have, I think, 3% more births than normal. They've had more people absorbed into Gaza. So this is nowhere even near genocide. But the sentiment, I know what he's saying. It's like they could have, spurred on genocide if they wanted to. If they really wanted to, destroy the infrastructure, if they wanted to destroy the familial ties that are rooted in Israeli life, that just trips me up. Just trips me up. Let's see what else he has to say.
People, heads were cut off, people. That's genocide. That's genocide also, I guess.
Okay, so that's the end of this video. I'm gonna look for another one. Hamas letter. I mean, this is just. It's from 10 minutes ago. Did you read that? I'm gonna send that back. Hold on. What did it say? Hamas tired of fighting as Israel continues to flatten Gaza, as they should. Hamas is tired of fighting. Do you get that? Imagine that, huh? They're gonna start something. Want to be starting something? Got to be starting something. They want to start the war. Now they're tired. Oh, we're tired. October 7th, that was so long ago. That was 2 years ago. We're tired. We're beat down. We don't know what to do. This is crazy. We can't continue going on like this. Israel is going to flatten Gaza as they should. Just completely level that whole place back to, I'm talking bedrock, it's like in the town of Bedrock, Flintstone status. I don't mean to be too childish or infantile right there, but, that's the thing that comes to mind, back to the Stone Age. But they were pretty much already in the Stone Age. They didn't have, like, gleaming skyscrapers and multiple parks and different areas and mansions and stuff like that. They had terribly made homes and stuff. Just look at the destruction. This is if you look at the far right, you'll see like mainly the places, the building, the structure is intact, and then you see the crumbling part on the left, the far left. They almost look the same. It just but that's goofy. That's weird.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One
Paul also brings the UN world leaders over to New York City. President Trump.
So there you have it. Trump suggests U.S. General Assembly. I'm not a big fan of the UN or any of its components because it equivocates Israel and Iran, America and North Korea and other terrible, horrific hellholes around the world with great nations like Israel and America. I just don't see that as necessary for them to do that. It's beyond not necessary. It's evil. It's disgust. It's abhorrent for them to do that. I'm gonna play this clip though. See what happens.
Preparing to address the UN General Assembly. That'll be on Tuesday as more U.S. allies, including the UK, Canada, Australia, all recognize the existence, get this, of a Palestinian state. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responding, saying the countries, quote, are giving a huge reward to terrorism. Anyone going to dispute that? Former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren, joins us now. Ambassador, your thoughts about the significance of this move?
Good morning, Brian. Always good to be with you. The move is anti-Israel, it's anti-Palestinian, and it's anti-American. It's anti-Israel, obviously, as the Prime Minister says. It's a reward for terror. This is a Palestinian state that doesn't recognize Israel, doesn't even recognize our right to exist, teaches its kids to kill Israelis, pays for murderers of Israelis in our jails. This is not a move toward peace. It's very, very anti-Israel, but it's also anti-Palestinian. Who's celebrating this? It's Hamas. And every time one of these countries recognizes a Palestinian state, Hamas's position at the negotiating table hardens. Hamas leaves the table. And that should tell you this. So this move by these countries will cost Palestinian lives. It's not going to end the war in Gaza. It's going to prolong the war in Gaza.
It's looking
anti-American.
True. It also kisses up to a group within their country that they let in, the Palestinians within their own country. And it's an homage to them. So you can kill 1,200 people and be rewarded with statehood. In 1933, the UN put the criteria for statehood. 4 elements: a permanent population, okay, defined territorial boundaries, not close, a government, and an ability to conduct international affairs. They don't have. They got 2 separate governments who hate each other, and one is a terrorist group, and the other one is just a corrupt organization living life in the West Bank. Here's our president.
You know a lot of my opinions, and remember this, you can't forget October 7th either. People are forgetting October 7th. They forget it too quickly. That was one of the worst days in world history. It was the most evil attack that I think you could really say babies were involved, little babies were involved, and having their heads chopped off and all of the things that took place. You can't forget that. I don't forget that. A lot of people do, but I don't.
So it is more, Ambassador, than just lip service. And we know that France, by declaring, giving Palestinian statehood and acknowledging it, that broke up the latest hostage deal because they said, wait a second, we have some leverage. But I understand there is some diplomatic advantages for the Palestinians with this, correct?
Well, it enabled them to greater, so basically sue us in international courts. They'll say that we're violating the territorial sovereignty of an independent state. And so that's why it's anti-Israel. But why is it anti-American? Not just Brian, not just because the President Trump says, that he objects to it, but this is a violation of the Oslo Accords. The Oslo Accords were signed by a president of the United States, a Democratic president, Bill Clinton, back in 1993. And those accords state explicitly that the Palestinians cannot declare a state. So all of these presumptive allies of the United States are actually taking a move here, which is profoundly anti-American and against American foreign policy.
So they could have had Gaza, 97% of the West Bank and parts of Jerusalem. Yasser Arafat walked away from that deal. And now France and our so-called allies are trying to give him something that doesn't exist. Ambassador, I can only imagine your frustration, and it's all going to play out this week at the UN. Thanks so much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling. I was riveted.
Don't want that. Don't want that. Okay, so that clip was, very interesting. Let me get rid of this. That clip was very interesting to me because, I don't want to know the exact truth. I just want the facts. Were there babies being killed? Were they beheaded? Is that truth? Is that reality? Or is that just hype and then trying to gas up the whole situation? I've not heard it from, Dr. Jerome Brooks' mouth. I don't think he covered that. He may have covered it earlier on when the first happened. But I think it was either debunked or it was diminished in the amount of babies that were actually murdered in the attacks on October 7, 2023. Just to make it clear, it has to be said that President Trump, I don't think he knows what he's doing, but he can do what he can do. If that makes sense. He does things. That's the opposite of what I was saying with the Republicans. They don't. He might do the wrong thing, but it's like the August Wilson play. He says, "But I done it." He said, "I might have done the wrong things, but I done it." Like he took action. He did what we thought was right. Most of the time, it's completely backwards and evil and wrong and stupid and like ridiculous, but if you can get something right, then that could possibly elevate his stature as a politician that just could be terrible to not so good. Because he's terrible. He's in the negative. He's in the low, teens, and Obama's in there with him. Trump could be like negative 19 and Obama maybe like negative 18, or it could be maybe negative 20. He could be just a little bit worse than Trump. He could be negative 20 and Trump could be negative 19. Yeah, so this love letter, I'm writing 4-page letter Like, really? What is this? What is this letter? Hamas. Oh, ceasefire, 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 ceasefire. And then they ceasefire, and then back and Allah Akbar. Allah, Allah Akbar. That's after the ceasefire. That's what they really want, I think. That's what they really wanted to do. They want, to them, America and is Israel and other forces to kowtow and bend over and sign whatever letter, or have their exchange of letters, and then they'll be like, oh, there's ceasefire. They have a ceasefire. We're not going to cease firing. We're going to keep firing, and then they're going to look at like, oh, we shouldn't have signed a ceasefire. They're firing at us. We can't do anything because we signed on the dotted line. That's how war works. War is disturbing and disgusting and abhorrent. It is not fun. It is not happy. It's not glorious. It's blood and guts and the confusion and smoke and fog and tears and everything that's just wrong and horrific. CougarCom LLC says the media is wrong about Hamas. Those poor people are just trying to be free. Okay, CougarCom, I'm not going to block you. I blocked 3 people in my entire career. There was one who claimed that there were 13. Had to get them the F out of here. 2, it was somebody from a different state. I'll just say that. He was recklessly talking about my friend Holly. And you don't do that. You're not going to come into here with the lady at the house and talk against her name just because I called you a name and you got pissed off. Third, it was Death Row. Death Row was saying I'm broke. Well, I don't need you. Get out of here. If you're broke, then please kick rocks. I don't need you. But let me just explain to you. It's not the media. A lot of people say, oh, it's the media. It's the media. Of course the media is biased. Of course the media is non-objective. They're subjective, especially Al Jazeera and different things like that. But even Reuters, even the Associated Press could be biased at times. Now, you say the media is wrong about Hamas. Those poor people are just trying to be free. Hamas is a governmental organization with a terroristic wing. They are not poor. They're not just poor people trying to be free. They're actually evil deviants who want to see the destruction of Israel and its allies around the world. That's Hamas. Just like Hezbollah is to the northeast, Hamas is to the west and the south, the southwest. I think somewhere around there, the west and Gaza. So you got to get that correct, Cougar. Got to get that correct. You can say it all you want on my platform. It's cool. You're not going to see your words anyway on the rebroadcast. But I just had to get that clear. I have to make that clear. I have to make that abundantly clear. So the Hamas is not just poor people trying to be free. Gazans are not just poor people trying to be free. They want to land grab. They want to put Israel in the worst position possible. That's their goal. That's their entire modus operandi. And it's sad that people are, so they just latch on to the Gazans because they're poor and they're meek and they're mild and they're modest and they're so low grade. Oh my God, we have to take care of them. Israel, oh well, they're rich and powerful. They've got all the guns. They got weapons. They got nukes. They got they got military might. They got the IMF. And what is it, the IDF and the IMF? I think it's the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. What's good, Wizard? Coming in a little bit late. I might do a 2-hour show. I'll have to take a break soon. What's good, cousin Scott? You can drop the cousin part, but we're good, Wizard. Salute to you, sir. Make sure you tell 5 people about me. Oh, no, Sky. I don't really be knowing people like that. Nah, man. Nah, I don't really, I can't tell. It's just me. I'm here, I'm here, so. That's how niggas talk. It's funny. What's good, cousin Sky? This guy. That's your warning for today, wizard. Cousin Sky. What are you, Tigger now? You big Tigger? Everybody's your cousin. Cousin this, cousin that. I'm not your friend. I'm not your buddy. I'm not your pal. Who said that? But I'm gonna try to get at least 10 viewers. I'm gonna see if I can get 10 viewers in 2 hours. Let me see if I can do that. I have to get a different topic though. I don't even know what else is going on in the world. They're doing a lot about, CK. That's all I'm gonna say. But I can't, do anything with that. I'm just looking for a video.
to personally guarantee a 60-day ceasefire in exchange for the immediate release of half of the hostages currently being held in Gaza. The letter, which is expected to be delivered to Trump later this week, is being described as an unprecedented diplomatic outreach by Hamas to a US leader. While the contents of the letter have not been made fully public, sources familiar with the document say it outlines a proposal that would see a temporary 60-day ceasefire come into effect, on the condition that Donald Trump act as a mediator and guarantor. In return, Hamas says it is prepared to release approximately half of the hostages currently detained within Gaza, a significant gesture amid international pressure for the safe return of all captives. Donald Trump, who has previously criticized the October 7, 2023 attack by Hamas on Israeli civilians, calling it heinous and barbaric, has also positioned himself in recent months as a would-be global peacemaker. On multiple occasions, he has publicly called for Hamas to release all remaining hostages and end violence against civilians. It remains unclear whether Trump will formally respond to the letter or what action he might take, if any. This development comes as international efforts to broker a ceasefire have repeatedly faltered. Multiple attempts led by the United Nations, Qatar, Egypt, and the United States have so far failed to secure a long-term truce or achieve a large-scale release of hostages. The offer from Hamas, if confirmed and pursued, could alter the diplomatic landscape, especially if Trump decides to engage with the group either publicly or behind the scenes. As of today, an estimated 100 to 120 hostages are believed to still be held in Gaza, following the coordinated attack by Hamas on October 7, 2023, in which over 1,200 people, mostly Israeli civilians, were killed. The attack triggered Israel's large-scale military response, which has resulted in thousands of casualties in Gaza, including many civilians. Families of hostages have repeatedly called on global leaders, including President Trump, European heads of state, and even private intermediaries, to intensify efforts to secure the release of their loved ones. A potential 60-day ceasefire, if it led to the return of even some of the captives, would be seen as a major humanitarian breakthrough. Whether or not Donald Trump will step into this new role as a potential intermediary remains to be seen. But the fact that Hamas has directly appealed to him underscores a shifting dynamic, one in which non-traditional diplomatic actors are increasingly being drawn into one of the most intractable conflicts in modern history. The letter's delivery, expected within the coming days, could mark a new phase in negotiations, or open up a political firestorm in the US as the 2024 presidential race continues to unfold with global implications. For now, all eyes remain on the president and on the fate of those still trapped in Gaza.
We're in very deep negotiation with Hamas. We said, let them all out right now, let them all out, and much better things will happen for them. But if you don't let them all out, beautiful dead people. And I'll tell you, the parents want them every bit as much, almost more, than as if their son or daughter were alive.
All right, thanks, Wizard. I'm gonna get into that story in just a minute. That's gonna be the other half of my show, and talking about that. I just want to say, okay, this love letter, this business has got to stop. Racist white rapper. Okay, I got you. I got you for the next hour. I got you. Trust me, Wizard. Trust me. But this letter business, not cool. You got mail? No, you don't got mail. Snail mail, whatever. A letter to the president, they drafted. Oh, we'll ceasefire for 60 days and let go of 20 hostages while we continue to bombard different places in and around Iran, Israel. Jesus Christ. I gotta take a breath, So that's the gist of that. Okay, so we're done with that. Now try to transition into this. Let me see. Let me see here.
That is absolutely horrifying. Listen to this.
Whoa, we need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang them up high at sundown. Leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I'm sure you probably are. But in the 60s and the 50s and long before that, lynching was really, really popular. Lynching black people, just finding the person in the town that was black and hanging them from a tree. It was primarily done by the KKK, and it happened a lot in what they called sundown towns, which I lived in Milton, West Virginia. And the idea is at sundown, you grab the people that shouldn't be there and you hang them from a tree and leave them swinging as a message to other black people in the area. Now, this song, I believe, is a reaction to the Ukrainian girl who died recently. It was a mentally ill black person that did it. And it released the day after 2 black people were publicly lynched and left hanging from trees.
A short piece of rope, hang them up high at sundown, leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, but if you do, bitch, we'll hang you in a fucking field.
You shall not steal, you shall not kill, but if you do kill, then I'm going to kill you. I mean, is he not seeing the hypocrisy here? Only God can judge. We need a legal system on earth to sort out criminals and everything else, but he's not talking about a legal system. He's talking about vigilante justice. He's talking about straight up murder with no trial or anything. He's just talking about killing black people. Our country is so divided right now. I don't know how we come back from this. That's not fair. I do know how we come back from this. New Nuremberg trials is how we come back from it. I read about World War II and how they handled denazification at the time. And the answer is with an iron fist. There were people like this in Germany after World War II, and they charged them in Spruikhammer courts is actually what it was. I mean, Nuremberg trials was for like the arch criminals, but Spruikhammer courts charged everybody from nominal party members to concentration camp guards. We need Spruikhammer courts. There is no more reasoning with somebody that says that they want to hang black people from trees and tries to get it to number one. This is on YouTube, and his pinned comment says, "Let's get the truth to number one." That's his pinned comment. We need Spruikhammer courts. We need to charge these people with criminal incitement. There is no more reasoning with people like this. We can't reason our way out of this situation anymore. Now it's time for criminal charges. And at this moment in time, that's not going to happen right now. But Donald Trump is like 80, and God willing, he dies a peaceful death in his bed with family.
Hold on, I'm gonna take it back a few little bit. I'm gonna see what he says. What kind of courts is he talking about? Spruikhammer courts? That's the kind of the caption is not picking it up.
A peaceful death in his bed with family members, hopefully adult family members, at a ripe old age of 103. Hopefully that's how it goes. But when he's gone, nobody's going to be able to control the party anymore, not like Trump. And the Republican Party is f***ed. Pam Bondi is f***ed. Elon Musk is f***ed. These people are f***ed. We need to push for new Nuremberg trials, for new Spruikhammer courts, for the people involved in this,
What is
for the people who brought us to where we are. This is beyond unacceptable. And if you want to know what I think you should be doing right now, I have two answers. Resist in any way you possibly can. If you can't resist, if surviving is all you can do, then consider that resistance. Number two, keep a journal. Contemporaneous accounts from the era in World War II Germany were eternally useful to prosecutors and to historians trying to understand what happened. Record everything.
We don't judge by skin, we judge by soul. So God can judge your sin, but bitch, you gotta go. Austin Metcalf lost his life at a track meet. The news won't say it, so I say it on a trap beat.
I get he's talking about the people who died. You're literally talking about killing people right now. These were tragic accidents that everybody can agree are bad. You are talking about killing Democrats, okay? Killing the left, killing black people right now, indiscriminately. You're saying we're going to hang them from trees. This dude is too far gone. How old is he? 35, maybe? 40? I don't know. You probably have 40 more years in this country, Forgiato. You have 40 more years. How many years does Trump have? Keep contemporaneous records.
And while they running from accountability, Laken Riley was murdered while she was running in the streets. Who would have thought the girl who left the danger in Ukraine would get her life taken riding on a train by a nigga when she's repping Black Lives Matter?
The thing is, you're using the N-word here in a derogatory way. He's not using it the way that, black people use it when referring to each other. He's using it like the actual N-word, with a hard R, whether he used the hard R or not. He's using it like that. I just want everybody to understand what he just did. Don't let him get away with this.
But you triggered by this song. Tell me what you said. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. Oh, that's too much.
Dude, what is it like to have that much hate in your heart? What's that like? Hate to this degree changes the way you look almost. Like, look at Stu Peters. He is a Nazi. He talks about this kind of thing all the time. If you don't know him, it's because people haven't been covering him very much because they don't want to give him airtime or whatever, because he's a full-blown Nazi that advocates for this. I just did a video on my Unfiltered channel where Stu Peters advocates for this. Like, here, this is a great example. Look at just the anger in his face. It's always like this. I don't know that I've ever seen the guy laugh before, come to think of it.
This country doesn't have a racism problem. We don't have a gun problem. We don't have a poverty problem that's causing mass violence. What we have here is a black problem. We have a problem with black crime. This is a group of people
in air quotes, I guess. The point is that there's such a ridiculous divide. I don't believe that there's any fixing it beyond Spruikhammer courts. And we can't make that work unless we have contemporaneous records. The more, the better. Keep a journal of what is happening right now.
Crime in the streets these days. Too much evil going down. If they get them up out of the bricks for a while, the judge turns them loose on the town.
So he's drawing up this fictional scenario where judges release black people from jail just because they want to wreak havoc because they're leftists. Like, I don't know what you think is happening. This is completely fabricated. The cash bail system is a problem. Our legal system, our bail system, there are a ton of critiques to be had here, a ton. The answer is not lynching black people. I can't believe I have to say that. The answer is trying to reform our bail system. Like, these people control every branch of government right now, every branch. You're telling me the only solution that you could come up with is lynching black people? Instead of maybe advocating for some very specific policy change, you've decided this is the solution?
How many mothers gotta cry? How many children gotta die before we put an end to all this mess? We ought to do it like they did it way back in the day, cause granddaddy's way it works best.
That is a clear, unambiguous reference to lynching black people by the KKK. Granddaddy's way works best. Lynch black people.
Who's gonna right them wrongs, my friend?
The government can right wrongs to the best of their ability, but if you're complaining that they're not, then blame the Trump administration, not black people as a whole.
Vengeance is the Lord's, but brother, justice ain't a sin. We need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope.
And if you notice, he keeps like flashing images of dogs. This is another thing they used to do. They used to set dogs on black people like this to chase them down and then hang them. The song's name is Good versus Evil. I don't know how we got here, man. I don't know how we got here.
Tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
That's the song. And even more horrifyingly, we have Brian Kilmeade recently saying that he wants to involuntarily murder homeless people. He said involuntary lethal injection. Listen to this.
Health crisis
Yeah,
happening.
exactly.
But it's not our job. We shouldn't have to live in fear while they figure out what's going on right there.
Right.
Put them in a mental institution, put them in a jail, and you guys figure it out. But people having to duck and dive on the trains and the buses, walking through the street.
They're talking about the same issue that Forgiato Blow was talking about. Somebody died on a train.
This is one case, but this is happening all across the country, and it's not a money issue. They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail.
Okay, so what he just proposed was removing somebody's bodily autonomy who isn't a criminal. If you're not going to take the resources that we provide, then we're going to lock you up. Well, they haven't done anything. If they did something illegal, then of course lock them up. That's not in dispute. Nobody ever tried to argue you shouldn't lock somebody up if they've done something illegal. He's arguing they should be locked up without doing something illegal. They should be locked up just because they're homeless. But it gets worse.
It's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right.
Involuntary lethal injection. Involuntary lethal injection is this dude's solution to homeless problem. Was he fired? Jimmy Kimmel was fired recently. No, Brian Kilmeade was not fired. He's back on air. He's doing his thing as he always did. He apologized, but nothing on Fox News is unintentional, in my opinion. We are in this moment in history in the United States where things are being pushed really, really, really far. And as the propaganda network, as the media arm of the state, Fox News, in my opinion, decided to see how far they could push it. See if people are here yet. And the answer is no, they're not there quite yet. We are in a disturbing moment, and all I can say is we need to keep contemporaneous notes. Lots of people, so that if something happens to ours, they burn up in a fire, or we're arrested, or whatever. Lots of evidence will exist for what they're doing, for what these people are doing. Name them in your notes. Don't let these people get away with this, because the pendulum will swing back. It will. And when it does, these people are going to have a legal price to pay.
Okay, there you have it. That was the whole video. Racist. I love it. I love it. This is supposed to happen. I love it. Bring more. And he made a good point that they should not be locked up. They should not be in a mental institution. They should not have lethal what was he saying? Unwilling or something like that. Lethal injection. I'm thinking about the Boondocks group, lethal interjection. Anyway, yeah, this is hate. This is beautiful hatred. This is the hatred that comes out of racism. This is the hatred that comes out of sexism, that comes out of faith and for all of that, force, all of that. I love the hate. Yeah, absolutely, Wizard. Salute to you, sir. Now, tell 12 other people about me and tell 20 people to subscribe. Then we'll really be on some good level, Wizard. Tell 20 people to subscribe to my channel. Then we'll be good. But anyway, yeah. So I'd rather. I've said this, and I think I'm echoing Mr. Troy Star Terrain. He may not have said this. He may have said this. I can't remember. But I'm saying it. I'd rather a white man come to my face and call me a nigger with the ER, the hard ER everybody's talking about, and then a black man come up to him and say, "Hey, brother, what time is it?" And I tell him what time it is. Oh, that's a nice watch. That's a nice watch. That's cool, man. Let me see that. That's neat. Hey, you have a good day, all right? And then he goes around. Then I go up the block. Some guys rob me of my watch, and then he comes around the corner and says, "Hey, man, what's that watch you had? Where's that watch, my brother?" And you gotta say somebody stole it. Here's the one that arranged the whole stealing of the watch. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I'd rather a white man be honest and be truthful and be in my face and say, "You're a nigger." I would much rather that than anything else. And the song is very careful. It's not saying too much about specifics. It's just saying, "Oh, we're gonna hang a rope, around the tree limb. Oh, it was Granddaddy's best." They know Granddaddy knew best. He knew what he was doing, what he was saying. We're not going to really get into any details here. But that one guy did, though. I forget what he said, that he is a neo-Nazi or something like that. He was like, we have a black problem. I was like, okay, yeah, here we go. This is the hatred. This is hate. This is complete hatred. He said, we have a black problem in this America. We don't have a criminal problem. We don't have a poverty problem. We have a black problem, he said. Wizard says, I got PTSD from getting robbed. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's not a fortunate thing to happen, obviously. It's not that I don't like or likes racism. It just is, and it will always be here until there's a point where all races are, scrubbed of their features and their color of the skin and their hair texture, and we're all blended into one grayness, this uber grayness that prevails against the land. Yeah, be your own people. They always say this is a very wise piece of this is a wise piece of thinking. This is wisdom. Your kinfolk ain't your skinfolk ain't your kinfolk. That's a fact. Your skinfolk ain't your kinfolk. Always remember that. So I'll take the racism. I'm for it. I'm a racist in a lot of ways. I'm not prejudiced, but I'm racist. Yeah, all skin folk, not your kinfolk. Exactly right, son. 90. Exactly right. So that has to be explained. It has to be, delivered with full passion. I mean, who was I don't even know who this guy was. Who was this guy? I don't even know what his name is. No, that's not it. His name is Owen's Fireside Chat. He's got 165,000 subscribers. Owen he's on point. He's telling the truth. He's presenting his opinion. I do agree with it for the very most part. Well, it says, Pac said it best. They tell me it's the white man should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. Exactly. Rapper name is Forgiato Blow. Forgiato Blow. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. I need that hate. Thank you for that hate. That motivates me. That makes me a better person. Because hatred is not the problem. Evil is the issue. Hatred is okay. I don't understand why there's, you can't say nigger on YouTube. You have to on the live chat. Oh, well, it's gonna offend somebody. Well, who what offends me? Offends me is Hamas sending love letters to Donald Trump through Qatar. That's offensive. That's an offensive thing. I should be getting, a check from that. I should be getting deposits from that. That's disgusting behavior to me. That's low grade. That's ugliness. That's evil. That's wickedness. Respectfully, wasn't a white man who made you crash out when you were in the Marines. No, it was an Indian. He was an Indian man. Respectfully. He was an Indian man. He was I don't know what tribe he was from, but he was he was an Indian, and there was a lot of other. It was everybody but the white. There was a guy named, I'm not going to say his name, but there was he was like Hispanic and Asian at the same time. There was a Mexican guy, and there was an Indian guy, and they were just riding my back, and I'm like, I got to get up off you. I got to shrug you off. Got to shrug you off of me. So that's what I did. That's why I crashed out. I tell you, that punctuation is no longer, a priority in YouTube speech. Myself included. I don't think I put, the period and exclamation point and the question mark on a lot of things. But I just noticed that. It's very interesting. So it didn't disturb me. I was, and I knew they were going to do that. I don't remember him even saying, did he say nigger? I didn't hear him say, I don't remember him saying nigger. Even if he said nigger, It's just words. It's freedom of speech, freedom of expression. You try doing that in Germany. Start talking that kike stuff in Germany. Start saying Jews, didn't get killed in the Holocaust. 6 million Jews weren't killed. Try saying that in Scott, I want to be an English teacher so bad. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about it for a little while. I was, but I like the exclamation points. I appreciate it. But yeah, so try that in Germany. See what happens to you. See if you don't get a fine of $250 or $600 or $1,000. I don't know. I have to look it up. I'm gonna look that up. But you'll probably spend time in jail, probably a year or two. You deny the Holocaust, but in the good old US of A, you can deny anything you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you're not threatening anybody's life, anything like that. You can say whatever the hell you want. You can do whatever you want. People can banish you, can boycott you, can isolate you, can what's the word? You can be taken out of society. I'm searching for the word. I can't think of it. Oh God. But you know what I mean. You can be completely thrown out from all human relations. That's a fact. Ostracized. You can be ostracized. Okay. The small hats, who could be Catholics, could be Muslims, could be Jews. I don't know. They all wear small hats. Always tell us to forget slavery, but we don't tell them to forget the Holocaust. They have forever victim mentality, just like the African Americans. I don't know who we is. I'm not part of the we, but I understand. I think your point. Yeah, that's anybody. There was the white guy on MSNBC a few weeks ago. He was just like, when we get over slavery, and he said it twice. He said, when we get over slavery, and then the black guy checked him. He was like, whoa, we don't. I don't know if you noticed what you were saying, but you said get over slavery. We don't get over slavery. We acknowledge it. We recognize it. We remember it, so it doesn't happen ever again, especially on the shores of America. And technically, there still is slavery. There's sex slavery. There's all kinds of different slavery in different countries that are going on right now. Possibly in deep pockets of the United States, that would be atrocious. Definitely check out the documentary, The Cotton Picking Truth. That is an excellent, not really well made. It doesn't have the best production value, but the truth is still there. The essence is still there. So you should definitely check that out. But I like this clip. I like the the hook was the one that got me. I'm trying to I might have to listen to his bars again, but the hook really got me. And no pun intended. The hook, being hooked up on a tree or something like that. He was just saying, this is how we do it in these parts in the South, and we're good country living, good old boys, and have that whole mentality. But we have to remember, the KKK was busted up by an 86-year-old woman. She got $13 million, I think, from the Ku Klux Klan, and it just was obliterated after that. And then it had to fracture off, and it went into neo-Nazism and stuff like that, and trying to elevate the white race only. Very scary stuff. Very scary, because like I said, they should not be charged. This is not a crime. This is the First Amendment, and the First Amendment rights to speak this vitriol. And it's hate, not evil. A lot of people confuse hatred with evil. Evil is something that can be done against you that is, violates your individual rights. That's evil. Hatred is just showing you that this is their truth. This is the reality. You only want to be a part of the tribe when it benefits you. Not true. Let them start screaming out reparations. I was just about to say reparations is about. I was just about to say. Then you'll be African American typical all the time. Nope. I'm not accepting reparations. I'm against reparations, and I will not accept them. I will not accept reparations in any form or whatever, because not every Jew got a check from or gets deposits from the Holocaust. So why would it make sense for me to say, all my ancestors are dead? They cannot, show any due diligence, any kind of specific idea that they were a slave. So I accept that. If they were still alive, or if they were still, still had some kind of understanding, then that would be it. But Native Americans get reparations. Maybe that's true, but they're on a reservation too, and they're dying of alcoholism. So that's a fact too, and they have casinos. So that was their trade-off from the government. They got casinos. Uncle Sam said, "Hey, here's some slot machines, some roulette tables. Do what you got to do." Woo, 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 woo. That's Uncle Sam to the Indians. I'm saying Indians, not Native Americans, because I'm a Native American. I'm a Native American. Indian comes from the word Indus, or people of God. I'm an atheist, but that's better understanding of who they are than anything. So I don't say Native Americans. I'm a Native American. I was born in Dover, Delaware, United States of America. I'm sure you probably are a Native American as well, son 90. Wizards probably is a Native American. But what should we be compensated for our ancestors building the White House and other cities and states? You even got the white man freckles. Yeah, I do. That's because of the in my genes. I have very, very fair-skinned ancestors. My grandparents, my grandmother and my on one side, and my mother's parents were very fair-skinned. My grandfather could pass. My uncle is still alive. My great uncle, he's still alive. He could definitely pass for white. If you didn't look too closely at him, he could definitely pass for white. Sir Paleface. What is Paleface? Who's the Paleface? I don't know who the Paleface is, but I don't have a problem with that video. I don't have an issue. I mean, I obviously have a problem with the super race, the actual, they're not. They're making up art. They're making art. They made a rap song. You made a good point, son. They're using black art against itself. I guess it's kind of like Muhammad Atta. He flew the plane into the World Trade Center. It's like you're using somebody else's creation against them. So I kind of relate to them. They're Muhammad Attas. That's all they are. They're Muhammad Attas. They're not committing evil like Muhammad Atta, but in a metaphorical sense, they are like Muhammad Atta. But I really didn't have an issue with it. I didn't have that, except for that the obvious racist. He's not even playing. He's like, and I'm glad he has a YouTube channel. I'm glad he's able to speak. He probably wouldn't have been able to speak in any other location, any other time. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't understand. I don't understand why. That's not art. They said that 2 people were lynched after the girl from Ukraine met her demise. It is art. It doesn't matter if the people were lynched. And who are they? They said. Who is this amorphous they that you speak of? I don't know who they are. Who's they? They said that 2 people were lynched. I don't know who they are. Who are they? Yeah, you have to remain objective in all this. And the song they. Okay. Oh, the artist. Oh, you're talking about Fugaggio, or whatever his name is. I was trying to pick up the lyrics. I was trying to listen to the commentary at the same time. I might have to listen to it twice. I have to listen to it again. And who was the featured artist? Who was the singer on the hook? The artist was Fugaggio or something. I don't know what the hell. Fugaggio Forgiato Blow. Who was the singer? Who was that guy on the hook? What was his name? And what's the name of that song? I'm gonna try and look that up. And what was the name of the song again? I don't even know what the name of the song is. He's my age. He's 36 or 37 years old. Boycott Target. They're grooming children with Pride merchandise. Oh my God. This guy is special. The singer was one of my cousins. Thank you for that hate, Son to Son 90. Appreciate it. Singer was one of my cousins. That song reminded me of Take My Road Down the Old Town Road, and I'm a my duck ain't no more. For some reason, it just had that quality to it. I've been going down to town. I've been walking all around. I don't know what the lyrics are, but that's funny. What I do have a problem is of course lynchings, of course shootings, of course burning of houses and buildings, and those are acts of force. Those are acts of force and acts of evil. Because some acts of evil aren't even criminal. You can be evil, and it may not be criminal, but it's something that is so wrong that it's in a different category than hatred. Hatred, people confuse with evil. Oh, that's hate speech. No, that's just speech. It's not evil. Maybe evil could be a lot of criminality, but there are some instances I would imagine that I can't think of any right now because I have a lot of evil thoughts on what constitutes as something wicked, completely evil and debased. Oh, Son to Son got a link. God damn it. I gotta look at this. Well, we're not gonna play this. I've got word from on high, Son to Son 90, that I'm doing nothing compared, talking about CK. That I'm not talking about Calvin Klein or confirmed kills. I'm not talking about CK in any shape, way, or form at all today. So, yeah. But thanks though, I appreciate it. I knew you had, you're setting your sights on hearing me commentate on it, but nope, not gonna go that route. Nope. 3 people in here. Okay. Small hats got you. The Catholics, the Muslims, who are the small hats? Be specific. Are you afraid? You scared? I can say whatever the hell I want to say. Can you say something different? The small hats. I think that's corny. That's whack. The small hats. It doesn't specify any other face. Oh, there we go. Jews. Thank you. Have some cojones, sir. Have some balls. Have a spine. Have a backbone. Jews. They're Jews. Okay. Small hats. Like, I think that's corny. That's whack. Small hats. Yeah, I think it's corny. We disagree. We disagree on a lot of things. Starman came up with it, but you have to respect the idea that we have differing minds. We have differing ideals. Just because Star came up with the terms doesn't mean it's I'm going to agree with it. We disagree on a lot of things. And I think it's corny. Because it doesn't specify. You got the Zucchetta or Zucchetto. You got the Kufi, and you got the yarmulke. They're all small hats, and they all hate each other, and they've hated each other for millennia. Maybe because of their small hats. No, you got a small hat. 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 It's wow. So don't come at me with the Star. Oh, well, Star came up with the terms. It means nothing to me. We disagree. I tell him myself. Hey, I think that's corny. I think that's whack. He's like, all right, I'm gonna still use it. Still my platform, you know. But what about the Jews? How did the Jews got me? How did the Jews got me? Nobody's got me. I built this whole platform from the ground up. Nothing. Nobody besides Mr. Choice Terrain has helped me make this my own. I have no callers. I have no guests. I have no co-hosts. It's all me. And I have 990 subscribers in over 2 years. It's going to be my 5th year. Okay, here we go. Well, tell us how about the Holocaust. Okay, which is worse, the Holocaust or slavery? I don't like to point out differences. They're totally different things. They're totally different. Were more people killed during slavery than the Holocaust? I don't have the numbers, so I'm not going to speak on it. I don't have the statistics. I can't. I'm not going to draw it up on the internet right now. I'm not going to say which was worse. It's like saying, which is worse, being burned by fire or being killed by freezing temperatures. It's like you're still dead or you're still maimed, or if weren't burned to death, what were the scarring tissue worse than frostbite or burn wounds? It's like it's different. Yeah, you scared. Okay, I'm scared of what? Who am I? The Bible says, "To whom shall I be afraid?" To whom shall I be afraid? Yeah, you scared. How am I scared, sir? Please tell me. Yeah, you're scared. Please tell me. Tell me how am I scared? Elucidate me. Clear it up for me. Make it plain. How am I scared? I would love to know this. This should be good. How in the world am I scared? Quote unquote. I'm putting that in quotes. Jews make the world go round. Well, that's racist. That's anti-Semitic. Jews run everything. Jews are responsible for 9/11. Jews are responsible for COVID. Jews are responsible for all the ills and evils of the world. It's always the Jews. Blame the Jews. Do you have any proof of this that delineates properly whatever that the Jews make the world go round? Do you have any statistics? Do you have any facts to back this, or are you just rambling off at the mouth on your keyboard, saying anything and everything that comes into your head? Still didn't tell me how I was scared. And that's fine. Isn't that racist? I actually feel like Kanye should have been like, black people need to unite like the Jewish community and build together. Well, you have to respect the Jewish community for having that kind of idealism. They have that specific goal tied into their lineage. I wouldn't say they run the world, but there have been sectors of the community, especially finance and business at large, making textiles, entertainment, sciences, chemistry, physics. They've excelled. Medicine they have excelled. I meant to say it isn't racist. You meant to say it isn't racist? I actually feel like Kanye should have been like, okay, I don't know how that really changes things, but all right. But yeah, I didn't have an issue with this video. This is just white boys telling it like it is from their perspective. Yeah, I don't have any hatred in my heart for the Jewish community. Well, that's great. I'm glad you capitalized the J in Jewish too. Didn't put a period. He gonna say, "Oh, the English teacher's back again." But it's kind of tight now. It's kind of tight. We don't have a hatred issue in our country. So sorry, Mr. Son. And with a lowercase s and no period again, but he put Mr. Saunders, so I gotta respect that. Salute to Son of Son 90. Oh man. But it's a shame, man. YouTube is such a humongous platform because it comes from a gigantic company, Google, which is under a gargantuan company, Alpha. Son of Son 90, is your husband coming to parent teacher night? I don't even know who are you talking to. I'm a straight man. I'm as straight as an arrow. I'm as straight as a drink served neat. Straight with no chaser. I don't know who you're talking about, but I like your trolling. Thank you for trolling. That trolling incites me. It excites me. It gets me motivated to do even more work and get more money. I need that hatred. See, you're hating right now, but that's not evil. What you're doing is not evil, but it's hatred. And I welcome your hatred. And you're being creative. You had to come up with, let me say, a husband and parent teacher night. It's school time now. Yeah. If you're straight, star gay, I don't even know what that means. What does that even? What was one thing have to do with the other? What does one thing have to do with the other? I'm confused. If you're straight, at least he put it YOU apostrophe RA straight star gay. Okay. Don't really know the correlation to that statement, but all right. I'll let it fly. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Who said that? Anybody know that? I mean, many people have said it, but he said it predominantly. I'll give it to you right now. Rock and power to the late, great Paul Mooney. He said, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. I'm having a good time though. This is fun to me. I'm losing subscribers. I'm gaining subscribers. I'm losing subscribers again. It's great. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. $990 subscribers. How the hell did I get to 990 and still not be able to get 10 more subscribers? Or subscribers go away? It's crazy. But I'm not mad. I'm still fighting. I'm still gonna keep going on, keep pushing. Somebody's gonna recognize it. Somebody's recognize, my greatness. Besides Mr. Chorsar Terrain, who's already shown me to be a boss. I hope that's not bleeding. It's kind of loud right now. That might be bleeding. Even if it is, I'll just go back to trim it and cut it. So yeah, evil and hatred are two totally different things. Totally different things. Slavery and Holocaust, evil. The hatred that people spew, that say, that's the thing there too. How can you deny it? What is a Holocaust denier? There are very, very, very few Holocaust slavery in America deniers. You can almost deny slavery. There were no video, there was no footage, there was nothing, nothing. Now you have Holocaust, you had actual footage of people being reduced to 70 pounds, grown men, 70 pounds and on them, and hardly any bone mass left on them, any fat, left on them, any muscle left to them. People being gassed and people put in furnaces. You can almost say about slavery that, okay, there were just stripes on his back. Who cares? It doesn't matter. There was no slavery. Nothing happened. They were just workers. They're just, filling, the daily labor. Southern Side says, I recommend that you cover urban trending topics to get your following up, but I do salute you for doing it your way like Sinatra. Yeah. You're right. I think the David thing was, a possible thing, but I'm not covering that every day. I mean, if there's new ideas, I would have to continue to pay, broadcasters for their content. I don't have enough money for that. They want money. Sir, there are photos of slavery and videos. There's not footage. There's no video. There's photos, though. They have a picture of a baby picking cotton. Okay. They have pictures of black people in zoos. I would love to see a article. Send me an article of black people in zoos. I'd love to see that. I mean, I wouldn't love to see it, but I would appreciate you sending that to me. So that video was refreshing to me. That was like an eye opener. I was like, "Whoo!" Did I do a bump right there? What was that? That gets me motivated because it's like nobody comes out the womb like that. You're taught to be like that. Nobody comes out the womb preset. I hate niggers. I hate kikes. I hate greasers. I hate wops. Nobody comes out the womb like that. We're all tabula rasa. We're all blank slate when you're individuated from your mother's womb. Everybody is set completely the same. It takes time. You go through different stages in life. People are in your ear. People are telling you things. You're getting taught some certain things in school. You're getting taught certain things by this person and that person, and throughout from a toddler to to a adolescent, to a teenager, to a man or a woman. That is what is taught. That is taught to you. It has to be inculcated in you. It has to be instilled in you. You don't just come out saying, "Oh, I hate niggers." You can't talk anyway, but once the time you're speaking age, you're most likely not. You don't know what you're saying, even if somebody says, "Hey, say hate niggers," and you say "hate niggers," whatever the case may be, and it doesn't matter because you were just taught that. You don't even know what you're saying. You're 2 or 3 years old. You have no idea what you're saying. So that was an eye opener. That was very poignant, Wizard. I appreciate you. Appreciate you with that. So I would say that I missed it. Let me go back. I'm gonna go back real quick. This guy's name. What is his name?
The more, the better. Keep a journal of what is happening right now.
Crime in the streets these days. Too much evil going down. If they get them up out of the bricks for a while, the judge turns them loose on the town.
So he's drawing up this fictional scenario where judges release black people from jail just because they want to wreak havoc because they're leftists. Like, I don't know what you think is happening. Example, look at just the anger in his face on my Unfiltered channel where Stu Peters advocates for this. Like, here, this is a great example. Look at just the anger in his face. It's always like this. I don't know that I've ever seen the guy laugh before, come to think of it.
This country doesn't have a racism problem. We don't have a gun problem. We don't have a poverty problem that's causing mass violence. What we have here is a black problem. We have a problem with black crime. This is a group of people
in air quotes, I guess. The point is that there's such a ridiculous divide. I don't believe that there's any fixing it beyond Spruikhammer courts.
Spruikhammer. Maybe that's it. I mean, that's not it. I don't know. But anyway, that I just had to get his Stu Peters. Stu Peters. I will remember that. But thank you all for coming through. Thank you for the hate. Thank you for all that. I appreciate it. It's well warranted. I need that in my life. Need that. So hold on. Okay, so yeah, so thank you very much. Appreciate everybody that came through. I will see you sometime in the morning tomorrow. Take care.